This show is part of the HeadStuff podcast network.
Well, those of you watching on the YouTubes will know they'll have to pardon our appearance during our renovations. We've had a revamp here in studio today.
You might think, I've walked into a child's bedroom. Oh, better knock. You don't know what kind of carry on. I didn't mean to pivot immediately into wanking, but look.
Get out of here! Okay, this isn't about wanking. This is about our new set, which we're building at present. Great.
Yep.
Thanks for joining in.
Thanks very much.
Thanks very much.
Poster here of a lot of sort of semi-nude American-looking people.
It's gladiators.
Gladiators.
So you to the Gen Z, to our Gen Z
gladiators.
co-host.
So they would have to go in the arena in the Coliseum and
We
fight
have
to the death.
one of their invitations to the Gladiator 2 premiere.
Yes.
We have a little
Mascot.
zine that Jordan made, photographs of our partners, so you can zoom in very...
Postcard from Cologne.
Postcard from whoever else sent us postcards. People send us letters. They're up there. So it's kind of like the Den.
Yeah, porcelain Sheila Nagy. I brought in some
Sheila
figures.
Gig.
Well,
It's
I think
about
the G.
geese,
I
but-
think the G is silent.
Okay.
And then we have a poster of Martin Angolo,
a very large poster of Martin Angolo.
which is sort of taking centerpiece for some reason. We'll have to do something with that. And
Mary
it says
Robinson's
on it
up
says,
there.
Graham Norton commented on Martin Angolo. Apparently he said he was very funny.
There you go now.
And I think the full sentence was, I don't think he's very funny.
But the quote is very funny.
very funny.
Yeah, so there you go.
If you want to stick stuff on our walls, then you just send it to us.
Stick stuff.
Send it by the address on the podcast studio. Look at HeadStuff podcast.
If you want to have a good gay, stick stuff and send it on to us, okay?
Did I say stick stuff?
Yeah.
They're attractive. Very attractive. Hot and loud.
And a little bit sad.
He was the best guy around.
Oh my. Is it hot in here or what?
You're an attractive guy.
It's the fabulous Tony Cantwell.
I'm talking about Shane Daniel Byrne.
Re-Raw sponsor this podcast, and somehow the man who works in my local shop knows that I'm associated with Re-Raw, and every time I come in he says, hey, the Re-Raw?
Do you know, I'm so synonymous with re-raw now, you know, when I'm out and about and, you know, having whatever drink I might be having, you know, someone's like, you're not having a re-raw, you know, and I'm like, ha.
Yeah, mine is true. He offered me, they have it in my local shop, they're selling it with, you get a free glass.
Wow.
Yeah, pint glass of Re-Raw glass, yeah.
Oh.
That's amazing.
Well, I am not publicly associated with Re-Raw at all because people aren't giving me any free Re-Raw or glasses or anything.
No free
please,
raw?
No free Raw from me.
Well, Re-Raw is light and fresh and it's available in stores near you. Thanks for sponsoring this podcast.
Thank you so much.
Do you know, I'm glad to be back. We did a remote there the other day. I'm sick of it. I love it here. I
Yeah.
love being back. I love our new little studio, which I love my yellow t-shirt,
You
but
look
I feel
great.
like it's colouring the whole thing, making it yellow. Do you think we should get a tablecloth? Write in, text in, let us know. Do you think we should get a tablecloth for the table? Let us know.
Well, while we're putting the feelers out to the guys, obviously we want them to send stuff in. That'd be great. And recommendations on a tablecloth. But you might not have heard if you're not a bonus subscriber, but a challenge was thrown down last week where there was a vote of no confidence in Shane being the current alpha of the group. And henceforth, we will be engaging in the alpha games, a series of games, and then it will be up to public vote who has won the games in decided fashion and is the new alpha of the YHG crew.
Yeah.
Would you like to send in some ideas of what you think a young hot guy's alpha would do? We're not talking about bullying someone, right? We're not talking about being an asshole.
Well, I do bully Killian.
Okay, yes.
But that's maybe the new alpha is a new era of sort of a crybaby alpha.
Yeah,
could be,
yeah.
So
Or maybe just alpha things. We haven't quite thought it out, but we are going to have a series of games here in the studio, and we'll be decidedly, you can confirm who the new alpha of the crew is. But for now, of course, it is still the sitting alpha, Shane Daniel Byrne.
Can I say that this is the second time you've brought that up, and I don't know what you're talking about. Like, did we say something about
it's
what
the
are you
same
talking
thing where
about?
it's like I do not remember the conversation I had more than 5 hours ago. So I think we must have said that on the podcast at some
And
time.
he remembers.
he's
Do
the
you
one
also forget?
Well, isn't that so exciting that our lives are just so interesting that we can actually even plan a huge, large-scale tournament and we don't even remember? That's not even a fucking blip in how interesting our lives are at the moment.
Can I talk about my fucking holidays? Are you guys going to ask me
There's
about
no
them?
need to jump in. There's
What the hell?
plenty of
No,
time. We've
I've
lots
been,
to
I've been hanging out with you guys now for 30 minutes it's not one of you guys have mentioned.
Yeah, because we're
Ask
saving
me,
it.
How was your holidays?
We're saving it for the pod. So
Well,
just
I
the
was-
motto of everyone who listening at home
Bit of
who has their
meandering.
own podcast knows that you.
It's present time. What did Killian get at the airport for Tony? Tony, it was not as good. Anyway,
Oh,
I thought
That is a fan.
it's getting so warm.
it's getting so warm, and in Barcelona, it's
Is
very
it one
hot.
fan between us?
No, the fan is for you.
Me.
Yes.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Which means,
He could do with a few fans.
Tony, the small cup is for you.
Wow! Oh my god!
So there you go. It's a small cup. It's Barcelona.
The price on it?
That is not the price on it, is it?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Thank you very much.
So
Wow!
can I just say, I'm sorry, Killian's a better man than me because I've been away in Spain for about 8 weeks and I have not brought you one thing, and I've been there 4 times. And Killian went away for Spain for 1 week. Well, Catalonia.
Catalonia.
I don't consider it Spain, to be honest, because I want to free the Catalonians.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
That's a fan.
This
It's
is-
Barcelona.
can I put it on the corkboard?
Yes, put it on the cork board.
Oh, they took away our pins.
Cork board.
But they shall never take
board.
away.
Our fans.
I love this. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for bringing something brittle back in your
Yes.
carry-on.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
do
yeah.
appreciate that.
So that's 2 presents for you guys from Catalonia. That's a traditional cup. As you know, the people in Catalonia are very, very small. So for them, that's just normal size.
I believe they call it like a cuppa.
a cuppa.
I've seen that. I've seen like some of the obviously the footage because some of the Catalonians go to Primavera, and when you see them holding their pints, it's like hobbits at the at the dancing prancing
obviously-
pony. They come in pints, you know.
You
but,
obviously have never been to Primavera.
I'd
because
like to ask
there are
you-
no Catalans at
Yeah.
Primavera.
Oh,
I'd
really?
like to
It's
ask
all
you
Irish
about
forbidden.
Primavera, but also I think,
Thank you.
Yeah.
thinking of the listeners and I thinking of myself, I think everyone is sick of hearing about it,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I think that's fair.
I'm proud of all of our Irish acts and CMAD and
Fontaines
DC.
and Red Stamp.
I saw an article in The Independent. Now, look, I like the journalist. I won't say her name. But an article about... I do like her. I do like reading her stuff. But an article about like, Primavera was good. Here's 5 things that was good. It was like, okay, settle down. I feel like it was a bit of a group hysteria where you all were there and you were like, this is the most... I was like, the rest of us are like, right, we're actually at work, so we don't have time to talk to you about that. You know?
Yeah.
My FOMO for people on holidays, which is I think the reason why I didn't ask about your holiday, is like at an all-time high. Like I was watching Stanley Tucci in Italy yesterday with Terry.
Oh, I love that
And I
show.
just kept
He was in
shouting.
Italy with Terry?
He was in Italy. Stanley Tucci in Italy with Terry.
Right.
It's Stanley Tucci about to say something, and then Terry's saying, "Sorry, not so much a question, but a comment. Are these San Marzano tomatoes?" And then just listing off some trivia she knows about food. It's an awful show.
That sounds crap.
I
yeah.
would watch that so much more than I would watch
So would I?
Stanley
No, but
Tucci's show.
I was watching it, and I was literally like they're eating some burrata, and I'm like, "Our life is shit. I hate myself," and I just kept shouting that while watching the show. So my phone was at an all-time high. But please do tell us about your holiday.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, I kind of feel a bit the same. We were VIP, so that's just important to put in there. But no, Primavera, I kind of agree. It's just a festival with a load of Irish and English people and some Americans.
Wow.
There's not very many like Leo was there.
Yeah,
Leo Varadkar bringing
Yeah.
the cool factor down majorly.
Yeah. And,
On average, across per capita, the
yeah.
coolness really dipped.
Yeah, it was kind of. I won't say anything for fear of LaBelle, but he was there and
LaBelle.
LaBelle.
he was having a
Paddy
good
LaBelle.
time. He was having a very good time.
Oh, good.
That's all I'll say on
Let's
that.
talk offline.
Let's talk offline on how much
You
fun
made
he
out
was
with him.
having.
You made out with him.
I didn't make out with him. But I feel like it was funny. We had an older guy in our crew, Steve, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, Leo's here, Leo's here, Leo's here," and he's like, "Oh come on, I see Leo every week." And it was just like, he's at every party in town. It's like, okay, fair enough.
Wow.
It's actually not that exciting that he's here. Who else did I see?
Now LaBelle, can we just?
Let's
Yeah.
go back to
So
LaBelle.
just- because you've been, some people have been criticizing how you say most words
Yeah, can we actually, let's do a bit of mail ball bag on
on
name.
name because
You
just-
obviously don't read your emails. Well, I don't know where my mobile phone is. So
What's wrong with LaBelle?
well, some
LaBelle
people-
is
Oh, libel.
libel.
Yeah.
Libel like the Bible. Is LaBelle also a way of saying it?
I really don't think so.
libelous, litigious.
No, libel.
I think I'm right and you're wrong.
Could
no,
be.
I don't. I totally trust that I say things wrong because I was raised bilingual and sometimes I say things that are just pronounced the
Who's
German
lingual?
way.
You were raised by
Gillian
lingual?
got in touch, Killian. Gillian got in touch, and she's
Thank
a
you,
huge
Gillian.
fan of the pod.
It's pronounced Killian.
Right? No. Do you know, every time I keep writing, something has changed where I write Killian and it keeps saying Lillian lately.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to have to
Story
do.
of my life. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
And do people say like hi Lillian to you? Do you
Yeah,
get
they say
that?
Heil Hitler. They say Heil Lillian. They
Oh,
say-
very,
Wow.
very quick. That was good.
It's ducking annoying, isn't it?
Yes, Dwayne Dugan, comedian and pal, and he's up on the board over here now. Dwayne Dugan. If you type in Dwayne, it comes up Diane.
You went to
So thanks, Diane.
Thanks, Diane.
Hey, Diane.
Hi, Diane.
There's
Thanks
not
for
enough
that.
Dianes. Sure, it's not.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. It's gone
gone.
Keep
out of
dying
the way.
car crashes.
People are.
Sorry.
No doties.
Gillian has said that there is a problem with your pronunciation of both the word marathon and kilometers. And she
Marathon?
said everyone just goes along with it. I can't cope. Oh, I should have done it. Tell me about those things.
Well, I did a marathon, which is 42.2 kilometers.
Well, that sounds pretty normal to me,
I think
Gillian.
you said kilometers last time.
Well, yeah, I say kilometers.
Apart from just now.
Because in German you say Kilometer.
Yeah.
And I just say I
So
just
the
say that.
exact.
I say the exact same. But okay.
But
no,
Gillian's-
no. Let's think it out. Let's study it out. Okay. So you guys say kilometers, right? That's what you guys say?
How you say?
Okay, and what about when you're measuring the weight of something that also starts with that?
Kilograms.
Yeah. You say kilogram, right? The same way I say kilometer. So I was just going up from, you go kilogram and then you go kilometer. But you guys, for some reason, say kilogram.
How you say?
But then you say kilo.
What we say is
Kilometers.
Not, sorry, what we say.
Kilosondy.
Sorry, there's no issue with what we say. This
No,
is
there
about
is.
you. Sorry,
No,
hold
this
on a
is-
minute.
this- I'm not. J'accuse tous les peuples d'Irlande.
This
okay?
is pretty hot. This is in
Okay,
contention for alpha
I
territory.
am just be innocent. Okay, I'm right, and everyone else is wrong. In my little child brain, I heard my family saying kilometer, and I was like, that's how they should say it in English as well.
Right,
Well-
we understand, but it's
what-
just that we just wanted to talk about it. That's all.
No,
What I
no,
find
you're being
funny, though-
very defensive about
I
it.
just think
Gillian brought this up
I'm-
in good faith.
No, she didn't. She came here to make a fool of me.
I want to challenge your German. I'm calling suspect because you're like, well, I think I say kilometer because in German we say kilometer. You just dropped the deep.
And then
you
you started-
literally just said the same thing.
Then you started speaking French.
So I think it's a suspect. I think we need to get an actual German in here to translate
A
this.
real German.
Actually-
You're neither Irish nor German. You're nothing.
Speaking of a German thing, because it very seldom comes up.
Nobody wants me.
Jordan was saying something interesting, and he said, ask Killian about this because this is true. Germans do this. He says that Germans don't compost their leftovers for dinner. They put it in the toilet and they flush it down the toilet. And he said that they be fucking pasta and everything down the toilet. Now, Minister,
No.
can you confirm it?
Everyone-
Can you confirm or deny? Oh, yeah, yes or no, Minister?
I deny.
Are you flushing food down the toilet?
Maybe
Minister?
that's a weird kind of like Berlin thing, but
We're not
people-
looking for maybes here, Minister. We're
That's
looking
not-
for a direct answer here. Do the German people put their food in the toilet?
Well, they feed it like a dog, like a family
don't
pet.
know.
Do they treat the toilet as a little dog?
Maybe if you've done a marathon and the pipes in Germany they're kilometers long. No, the German toilets have a little shelf. Okay,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
they have a little shelf that your deposit goes on.
You're obfuscating.
there-
Everyone
and that-
knows about
and that
this.
so that you
You're
can invest.
obfuscating
You can
from
look
the-
at your poo.
We can't-
so that you can see if you're healthy.
I didn't want us to get into
That's
that.
what-
I
that's
didn't
what that's
want.
for.
This is
Oh.
not. We didn't want to know about the shit shelf.
no, I'm just saying.
We
If you
didn't-
put a pasta dinner
Minister,
there, it would stay
I'm
there.
finding it very hard to speak. Minister, do the Germans put their food in the toilet?
Yes or no? Yes or no?
We
And
need a
speak
yes
for all
or no.
Germans here, Minister.
Speak for all Germans, as you always do.
The Germans put their food in the toilet, but the toilet is a nickname for a guy called Gunther from Hamburg. They get
Here's
their
Gun-
food. That's what it is.
The toilet is here.
Often wide.
I went German again.
Ready
I
for
went
more
French.
food. I've never heard of that in my life. That sounds insane.
Okay, all right. Well, look, I'll
that sounds
tell German.
insane.
I'll tell Jordan that he's wasted my time. Wasted my time. Reclaiming my time.
We were in the airport coming home last night, and there was a German man trying to charge his phone, his handy, and I was the man who had gotten to the airport early and had claimed the charging port. But then
Did you put your towel down on it? As a German.
No. I got there early and I got the spot. And then this older German dude, kind of cool dude, ponytail, band T-shirt. I was like, this is my kind of guy.
That's pretty cool.
Came over, very sweaty, very flustered. He had 20% on his handy, and he needed to get the plane, and he was worried he wasn't going to get it because he had to go to Dusseldorf. And I took it upon myself to try and fix this situation. Anna was sitting next to me. There was several people all around, and me and this guy had one cable with several different kind of heads to try and fit it in. And we were both trying to figure out a way that we could make both our phones charge at the same time. I, for several times, just like, you can do this. I don't mind. I've got 60%. I should be fine. But somehow, I don't know why we both thought it would be possible, but we thought we could somehow use a load of adapters and then just one cable and charge both our phones. And I think I was just excited to speak German with another person. Sure. So I was just very excitedly doing this and bumbling around. And I was just like, nein, vielleicht können wir mit diese, nein, ich glaube, es passt nicht. And we're just going on like that for ages and ages. I saw two Irish people who are like obviously very hungover from Primavera just pick up their bags and just move away from the area that we were. And then Anna turned to me and she's like, if you two don't fucking stop, I'm going to go mad. I was like, okay. But it was really fun. And it was impossible. It was impossible to do it. And then I had just ended up just chatting to your man. And
really doing a great job of beating the Germans are boring allegations. Really doing a great job.
We were a horrible energy to be around.
Yeah,
in an airport when there's not much food going on there.
No.
And just two excited Germans trying to break, what is physically possible, and create energy where there is none.
And wattage even.
Wattage.
I mean,
anyway,
voltage,
it's true. I do say words wrong, but that's because of my bilingual upbringing.
And so actually, Gillian's a bit racist there, Gillian.
I think so.
That's a bit weird, Gillian. So by all means, send us in stuff to stick on the walls. By all means, send us in emails at YHG@HeadStuff.
Stinger, Gillian, where
But
rubber
you're
your
a
glue.
racist. And
Essentially, you're making fun of my accent. That's it. I have a very subtle German accent.
There's
that
a
only
sense of
comes out in-
privilege there,
there's
though,
a
with
sense of
Gillian
privilege
that
there,
she sent
Gillian.
in.
Yeah.
Just
Just
check
because your
yourself.
name's like mine doesn't mean you are me.
Yeah.
Maybe put her on a watch list, actually. We have her emails. Maybe we send that on. Just in case part of one of those kind of,
We should try
right-wing
and go
kind of
through
WhatsApp
if any,
groups
maybe she's on the bonus. We should just block all Gillians. It's probably the safest thing to do. Block all Gillians. Thank you very much for getting in touch with that,
Gillian
Gillian.
Anderson wants to listen.
Oh,
She can listen.
she can listen anytime.
She has ways.
anytime. I'd like to listen to her say anything to me, really.
She could do what she wants. That
She could do it. She wants that girl. She's one of those weird ones that I don't mind that she just freely changes her accent whenever she wants.
Where's
She's
she
English
from?
now,
Yeah. Was she always English though?
Well, she's biracial, I think, and
That's what that is.
she's biracial, and I think that whenever she's in America, she speaks with an American accent. Then whenever I've seen her she was on some chat show, 90s chat show, and she was speaking in an English accent, and they were like, well, "This is weird because you normally speak in American." It's like, well, whenever I get off the plane, I just kind of got Paul McCartney there. Well, that was a great thing, whenever we get off the plane, and there was so many people there, and I'm like, just such a joy to see so many people. Shadooby-dooby-doo.
You have The Simpsons on your T-shirt, Tony.
I do.
They're green though. Ray and I often do "Help us, Lisa, help us." When Lisa's on her little trip from the medicine.
We had a thing when we had some holiday bits when we arrived in Oxford Street. In London, we first went to London for our friends Amy and Andy's wedding, which was amazing. And
We're
we did it in
Amy
a
and
kilt. I sent you a photo.
Andy.
And we arrived, and there's a shop on Oxford Street called Wizards and Spells. And so I was doing a little thing for Anna where I was like, "Welcome to Wizards and Spells on Oxford Street. All the magic elixirs that your heart desires."
And Anna was just crying and crying.
So please stop. But then that was a guy that we kept doing throughout the holiday. So like when we were very hungover, Primavera, and I was trying to get Anna to just like, we need to have another beer. That's how we do it. And she's like, maybe, we'll get some ibuprofen or something like that. I would do like, "I know a medicine the doctor wouldn't prescribe. A hair of the dog that bit you at Wizards and Spells on Oxford Street." So that was the little guy we had going.
That's fun. Do you know what I love is that sometimes you tell stories about Anna where she's like, Anna's just saying, "Please stop," And then when you tell us these stories about her holiday being bookended by you doing an incredibly annoying wizard
She
voice
loved
and then
that.
speaking German loudly about a phone charger for ages.
I
Totally
really like
understand
that the Irish people just picked up their bags and walked away. I've done that on the train before. Like two women got on with what must have been 15 children. I was like, I'm out. I'm out. Like, I don't. I had my name above my seat, but I'm like, I'm not. I saw them on the platform. I was like, I was already packing up. I was like, I'm not sitting here. I will stand in the little toilet area people stand in. I don't care. I will move.
I think back.
Life is too short.
I know 100%, and I've gone full circle. I mean, I used to when I was like, when you're like 14 or 15 and maybe like it's a school trip and like the students have to get the bus on their own to something, you know what I mean? And it's like a weird kind of novelty that you're all kind of traveling together.
Killian's handy is ringing.
Mine handy.
Who's that?
Hello?
Hi, good morning. My name is I'm calling from...
Hi, yeah, I'm actually, I can't, sorry, I can't talk.
No, hang on.
Okay.
Let's hear her out.
Sorry. I'm calling from... So, am I speaking with Killian Sundermann?
Yeah, we have you on the line. It's Killian Sundermann here.
Thank you so
speaking.
much for picking up. You are in with a huge opportunity here to win big.
Thank you.
Can you recognize this noise? A lot of people have been asking. What, can you guess the noise? We've had a couple of guesses in so far.
Double noise, so I'm getting multiple noise.
This is the noise.
It's just the one noise, not multiple noises. We're looking for the one noise here.
So a lot of people have been guessing.
Okay, so I'm speaking with Killian Sundermann, right?
Yes, you are, and you have a chance to win big if you can guess.
No, you're speaking with Wacky Mole and the King Kong crew.
All right, thanks.
That got started to get mean.
Can I say? I think that's because that's genuine. I think it's because my card. I changed my card. I don't think I paid my bill.
Ah.
I actually felt a bit bad there. I enjoyed it for a while, and then I felt a bit bad on because she's just like, we're all like,
she giggled. I heard her giggle.
She's at work, like she doesn't have time for that.
So that was actually very, very unprofessional of me.
It was rude what we
was
did there, but we needed a game.
Rude.
We
But
really
look,
needed
I
a little
think this
game,
highlights a very important point here. We're broke, okay? We're broke.
Killian can't afford his phone.
Shane's direct debit, conveniently, every single month doesn't pay. We're fucked. And there's a huge opportunity for you to help us. There's a bonus podcast that goes out every Tuesday, and you can subscribe over. There's a little in the show notes there. Please help us.
Please help us become a fan.
When you get on the bus when you're a student, I used to use that opportunity. You know, you'd be there in your uniform, a group of friends, you're having a bit of a laugh, hanging maybe. If it's a dart, maybe you're hanging from the thing, maybe even upside down. And I would probably be the single most obnoxious person you've ever seen on a bus. I would use this as the world as a stage. I found my audience. I'm not trapped in here with you. You're trapped in here with me. Kind of vibes, you know? And I would use that and do impressions and loud jokes, maybe even really rude jokes.
To who?
To my friends, but loud enough. And then when people would look weird, I'd be like, they think we're mad.
I know, yeah.
It.
If I get the bus home from the city centre, I go up Wexford Street, Camden Street area, right, which in Dublin City, very popular among the freshers vibes,
Yes,
right?
sure.
And the culchies. And sometimes it clashes because you finish a gig and you might get a bus and then the kids are going out, right? So, and there's always these boys who think they're not even so much blokey boys, actually kind of gayish. And they're like, they think that they'll be loud because everyone on the bus goes, they're gas.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
mad.
They're
But actually,
mad.
we're all like, do you know what? I was 19 before as well, and I know how frightened you are. So please shut up.
Yeah.
You're nervous about going out. You're worried about your ID. You're worried about the cloakroom, which is the cool drink to get. Will anybody want to kiss me? We know you're terrified, so stop pretending you're enjoying yourself because you're not really.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just hard. It's hard to be around. I swear to God. But they think they're gas.
All banter is fear. We've said it.
All
time and
banter
time
is
and time
fear.
again. You know, I'm like,
And if an adult were to say anything to me, as like when you're making all that noise on the bus, if an adult was to actually confront me and give out to me, I would go so red in the face.
Yes.
I remember we were all being real loud on the bus. So loud at the back went, "Will you all shut the fuck up?"
It's great.
And I went, sorry. Yeah, well, we're only.
I think when I was when I was that age though, I think I felt it was too loud. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I was like, I'd be embarrassed of that idiot in your gang, the Tony Cantwell, if you will.
Yes, of course.
That idiot, that lumbering fool. I'd be embarrassed of that oaf, and I'd be like,
I remember
"Please be
Tony would
quiet."
come onto the bus, like a few gas slung under his arm. He'd have sunglasses on and be like, "Let me tell you this. Let me do my Homer Simpson impression." And it'd be crazy. Everyone would be like, "Tony,
It was crazy. It was really good.
It's boner time. Let's go." And you had everyone eating.
I'd get on even without my friends. I'd be like, everybody, sorry, I'm not homeless. I'm not looking for money, but I am a poet. And I am going to tell you some poetry right now. Something inside so strong. Sorry, I'm actually singing. And then people would love it.
Do any young people listen to this podcast? Do you think anyone who's like 19 listens to this?
I should bloody hope not.
I wouldn't
Whenever
think
we do
so.
Young Hot
Not for
Gags,
them.
it's always quite a young audience.
The young people go to Young Hot Gags.
Do you know what I was impressed? Remember we had a Young Hot Gags and there was a guy who came, a young fella, and he came on his own and just to enjoy himself.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that is a courage that I hope there are more people like that going out. I enjoy that. I'm going to go. That is a level of confidence that I would love to milk him for.
Yeah, somebody messaged me about my gig
You
one
wanna
time,
milk 'em?
my show one time.
nipples.
She messaged and said, like, can I go on my own? Would that be weird? And I was like, babe, go on your own. I'm really a big supporter of going on your own to things. It's no big deal. Go for it.
I used
Go
to
for
never
it.
do anything on my own. I remember even when I first moved to London and I was like 20 and I was like, had girl flatmates and they would just like go to a park and read a book on their own. And I'm like, what are you doing? I could do nothing on my own.
But
Now
see,
I
it's part of
crave
this.
it.
There's part of an internet culture of like Emperor's New Clothes kind of energy of people saying, yeah, no, going to the cinema on your own is so weird. Yeah, me too. I think so too. But no one really thinks that. Same as going for food on your own. Ooh, God, do they all think about like people who work in the place don't care that you're on your own. They're like, for one, okay, sit down. They don't give a shit. Like you eat on your own a lot as a comedian. I feel like you are like, yeah, for one. So it's no big deal. And I think like the way people say like, don't say the word moist. Oh, I hate that word. No, you don't. You absolutely don't hate that word. There's no reason why you'd hate that word. You just made that up. Someone made that up and then everyone went along with it. So I think be your own person. Be your own. Be your own person. When I was in 6th class,
Sixth, as they would say in the UK?
Sixth, yes. My teacher's from Donegal, so she said 6th as well.
Oh, yeah.
And we were in room 6. Anyway, she said the school tour was on and this culture developed of people saying, I'm not going on the school tour, right? This just came out of nowhere. And all the other boys in the class decided they're not going to the school tour. And I said I was going and I held firm. And by the time the school tour came around, hadn't they all bloody signed up? And I think that I learned an important lesson from that you just need to do what's right for you. Stick to your guns.
Absolutely.
So even though I was 11, it stayed with me. And I'm now 24 and I still feel
those
that.
10 years, that decade later.
Yeah, just 13 short years. Yeah.
Good Lord. 24.
I know, I'm so grossed out because I'm like, my next birthday I'm 25. I'm like, oh, something mid-20s. Oh, yikes.
No, sometimes I catch myself in mid-conversation when I'm going to talk about something like, oh, that fucking thing's so shit. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm not repeating my own opinion here. I'm repeating hive mind.
Hive mind,
I'm repeating Twitterverse. They don't like, I'm making a Nickelback joke. I think they're all right, and I don't find the Nickelback hate that funny. You know what I mean? Like it's just I'm finding myself doing hack material, and I found myself giving out about someone, but it was really just the hive mind. And I want to say, do you know what, guys? I actually love Jared Leto. No, I'm only messing. I couldn't even. No, I did actually say that on my podcast a few years ago. I was like, everyone's giving out about Jared Leto. Whatever. I actually think he's a good actor. And then, so I'm going to go back and delete that because recent allegations. But look, aside from that, Nickelback
And historical
allegations. Look, Woody Allen is great. No,
Roman Polanski.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean?
What's going on here?
I don't know.
We're just talking about people who have allegations.
But it started with a nice message of like, do what you want to do, and then Tony's just listing known predators.
I don't know. All right,
And I'm like, why is this?
Try and check with yourself if you're repeating what you've seen in memes that you don't necessarily agree with, but you see everyone else is saying, and you have your own opinion. Do you know what I find very sexy? Someone saying, I disagree, I actually like that. And then you're like, where am I actually pulling my opinion from?
Yeah, and do you ever be when you're being a little bitchy bitch and then everyone else goes, oh no, I like it. I like them. You slag like some music or something, like, they're a bag of pricks. And they're like, oh, I like it actually.
Yeah.
Or they're like, I've really come around on it. Killian, you have a shocked, scared face.
No,
on.
I was just thinking about Primavera. But there was that kind of thing where some people were like, No, yeah, my holiday in Marseille. But that kind of thing where it's like Sabrina Carpenter or Chapel Rowan or, well, less so Charlie XCX. I think it's still like, but if Sabrina Carpenter or something like that, but you would go with an open mind. You'd be like, okay, I'll check this out. Whereas some people would be like, oh, not that fucking shite. Like, oh, I don't want to see this like Dutch DJ where, you know, that's playing at 6 a.m.
Yeah.
I prefer to see that. You know, that kind of idea.
And who's that guy?
Let's
talk more to the different fella.
That's me.
Oh, that's Dutch DJ.
DJ, you know, he's about a kilometre away. But no, that kind of idea, I hate that. I think everything with an open mind, always take it, and like if it's good, it's good. If it's bad, it's bad. Try for me. But it's very hard not to, you know, we're all conditioned.
We are all conditioned.
My conditioning's been conditioned.
It's hard because we want everyone to agree with us, but we also want to seem opinionated. So we kind of like go with these kind of hard takes, you know what I mean? But I'm not a huge fan of Sabrina Carpenter, but look, a lot of people are.
She wasn't great. She was a bit shy.
Was she?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of complaints that like men, like gross men, make about it. It's like all she's gonna do is just sexualize herself the whole time. And I just think it's so obviously it's just barefaced misogyny, but it's like sexualize herself. It's like she already is sexual, and so is everybody else. It's not this thing about she's so sexualizing herself. It's like she is sexual. Like she's a sexual in as much as everybody else is. Like what are you talking about?
Her main thing was it was funny because I was messaging my friend who's like, how are people? And I was like, well, Sabrina Carpenter wasn't great, but you know, she only has the one album out, and like that's, you know, so she doesn't have that many hits or whatever. And then he sent me this, you know, the AI kind of thing that Google gives you now. And it's like, Sabrina Carpenter has 6 studio albums.
Does she?
She has 6 albums.
Wow.
Yeah. She only has about 3 like bops, absolute major fun time bops that are really, really good.
Was I talking about Benson Boone on this show before?
I think we may have talked about him. The kids love him.
That's rarely a moment goes by that we don't talk about Benson Boone. Who is Benson Boone? Oh yeah. Ray hates that song.
Ray does? My Ray?
Yeah, you're Ray. Your
Is
little
that-
Ray
what's his name?
Sunshine.
Hey, listen, watch him do a flip. It changes everything.
I can't remember if I said it already,
fucking
but I'll say it
telling you.
again. It's like there is a hive-mindy thing of like, oh, he's the worst and this is not real and it's manufactured pop. And it's like, yeah, of course, but like, he's not supposed to be great, like a great musical artist. There's always a cute boy around the corner. That's what I just think. Like he's just for kids to like. So what? What's that
Like,
problem?
I think that the thing about seeing someone live though is that you can't fake it live, really. I mean, you can do a great. And me and Anna were watching YouTube live things on the TV to sort of get prepared for Primavera, and we were looking at different people's performances. So we were watching Chapel
When
Roan.
you
We
say
were
get
watching-
prepared, were you like practicing your dancing or what were you?
we were playing a lot of dice.
Nice.
And then watching YouTube live of different performances, and then yeah, I mean, I have only one dance move, and it's just the 2-step.
That's good.
But
Crush
yeah,
your
we were
big
watching
feet.
them, but we ended up just watching Beyonce because she's the best.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
And you would just do that, like, and I guess we were watching Sabrina Carpenter expecting something along those lines, but I think her vocals in the lower range are very good. It'd be great if she had more songs in the lower range, but upper range not that impressive. Her dancing was okay. Her banter was shite.
Wow.
It was shite.
And she's always sexualizing herself.
And I found she was always sexualizing herself.
I
and I
mean-
said, can we not put a jumper on her and a pair of trousers?
Put her trousers on you. Jeez.
It looks like she forgot to put on the skirt.
Put on your bloody trousers and
She's
sing
not
along
going
the
out
lower
like
range.
that, Sabrina. Jesus Christ.
Jesus, you know what I mean?
Well, she did a cover of something, did she? Did she do?
She
a
did
cover?
It's Raining Men, and
It's
it was
Raining
great.
Men.
And it was 30 seconds long, but it was the best 30 seconds of the show.
Oh, was it only 30 seconds? I saw the video
it
and
was
she
very,
was
very quick.
in the lower range. Actually,
And she's very good in the lower ranges. But she did some things where I actually was saying, I think it was, I was with Alison Spittle and Fern Brady and Tamsin Kelly. A trio of wonderful comedians were there, and we were hanging out with them for a bit.
You're just name dropping.
And I was like, well, they might listen and they might enjoy that their names are said. They also
Hello to Alison, Fern, and Tamsin. Great to friends of the
crack.
pod.
Great.
Fair
Glad
play.
you looked after our
Brilliant.
Killian over in Catalonia.
And I was saying, I was like, Sabrina Carpenter could do with a bit of stage time in like Craic Den or in some sort of comedy club, because she was doing some things which were, I was like, her banter was very like not going anywhere. And I was like, she needs a short amount of stage time she did some classic areas. She went, I'm super jet lagged. And then
Yeah.
I was like, don't tell them that. That'll create a vibe over the whole show where we're
You're
like,
right.
she doesn't want to
Yeah,
be
yeah,
here.
yeah.
Tonight's not
This
special.
does sound like a
All this
lot. I will say, Killian, I understand, but I will say it does sound like a lot of comedians who are really drunk talking shite. And it does sound like you're now reproducing that here on this
She
podcast.
can never do what we do, you know?
Yeah.
I can do what she does. She can never do what I do.
I couldn't imagine me trying to do what she does. But no, I don't know. It just felt a little bit. Chapel was amazing. Charlie XCX, I was too drunk. I was too drunk to experience it, and Anna lost her phone. So that's our
Oh
memories
my
of
God,
that.
Anna, what a classic girl move.
Yeah.
How annoying.
Well, it wasn't
But
annoying
respect.
for her
That's the
because
reason I don't go out with women.
in
With
the
respect
loss
for
of her
women.
phone, she gained a personal assistant who did absolutely everything for her.
Was it
in
you?
the form of me.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there was.
How did she lose the phone? Anna, oh God, I'm sorry now. Sorry to be cruel to Anna and to be critical, but like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Do you know, that would just drive me up the walls
That's
if
the kind
someone
of
in my
things-
party was
yeah.
like, I love it. I'm like, well, then maybe you should head home.
Yeah.
Because you're now such a liability and a nuisance.
She kept doing things where she
liability.
was like,
Am I saying that right? Liability, liability.
Liability. She kept saying this, where it's like, I actually love not having a phone. And I'm there with like, trying to texting her mother going, hi, Brent. Yeah, no, she's not had her phone for a few. Yeah, organize. It's like, Anna, your dad needs to know about the van insurance. And, and then her sister's there. And I'm like, hey, Aoife, yeah, we're good to be good. And then it's like, I love this life with no phone. And I'm like, kind of just trying to sort all this out.
That's grounds for divorce, losing a phone. No, I'm sorry. No, you're going to have to head off.
Yeah.
You're going to have to head off. I can't.
But then when someone
I'm
loses
too
their phone, they're
old.
so
I'm too
upset.
old. I'm
So you
25 nearly. I'm
Yeah.
too old for
You're
that
touching
now.
it.
I can't.
You're touching
Looking for other people's shit is the fucking bane. And considering how often I put it on other people, being like, I can't find my laptop, and I'm panicking and I put it on other people. I hate when it happens to me. I hate when someone's like, I can't find my keys. Can you just? And then I don't even like lifting a cheek on a fucking couch to look for something for someone else. It fucking winds me up to no end. But I do it to other people. So there's like
It's fine. Like when I leave the house, when I leave the
house.
house, I will come back into the house each and every time because I've forgotten something. I will lose my. Let's list them. I can't find my keys, my wallet, my earphones, whatever, a cable, my phone. And Raymond likes looking around for them. He likes when I disturb him. Maybe he's working, Egglebert, or has laptop. He loves it. So that's different.
I think you
That's
need to stop
different.
No,
filing all
definitely.
your.
I'm
But
sure
at a-
Raymond loves it.
At a festival now, I'm sorry, I would have to send Anna home. I would say,
But
like,
you see, you
you've
can't
been
send her
evicted.
home because she has no way of doing anything.
And I don't see if that's your problem.
She has
Killian. Look, I like Anna, but I'm sorry, but I just think to be at a festival in another country, Harlar, right, overseas, and she's no phone. I'm like,
She was robbed.
like when
She
a
was
horse
robbed.
breaks its leg, shoot it in the head. She needs to be shot in the head.
I mean,
I didn't know my reaction to this was
I
going to
didn't
be
know your reaction
so
would be-
so
I mean,
so
it's-
powerful.
It'd be so strong.
I think
It is.
you're
Has she
thinking
got
about-
has she now got a phone replacement?
no.
She's working on that
No,
today,
she
is
hasn't
she?
had a phone for 5. She'll be working on that today.
Right.
Yeah. But I mean,
Anna, take
honestly,
your
not
time,
having a
Paul,
phone
it's
is kind of it's. There's some things it's very necessary for in terms of, but once you have the wristband, you're kind of grand. Like it is kind of.
Why is it a magic wristband? What is it? What do you mean?
Well, you can get in and out of the festival. It's not a ticketed thing.
Yeah.
You don't need your phone. But once you've got that, it's not. I mean, it's not.
So she's just waving.
You
waving
get
it at
used
the
to it.
bar
There's an
for a
initial
drink.
kind of like, oh, I on my phone. What am I fucking gonna do? But then you're not an idiot. Like you look up online, Chaperone's on at this time. Sabrina Carpenter. They're on at this time, 4 fucking a.m. By the way.
Sabrina Carpenter.
All these people. It was not a festival for boozy people. I'm a boozer. I don't really do drugs. So I was like, by that time the big shows come around, I'm like, I'm very, very tired.
Yeah.
I would like to go to bed.
4 a.m. the shows.
Some of them.
Who was on 4 a.m.?
2 a.m. 2 a.m. on went LCD Sound System.
Okay, yeah, but that's 2
On
a.m.
went.
vibe.
That's not, no, Sabrina went on at the same time.
Right.
It's fucking
Sabrina.
crazy.
You're
That's
obsessed with
wild.
Sabrina Carpenter.
No, I'm not. I don't even think she's hot.
Oh, she's always sexualized herself.
Yeah,
That's
no.
kind of making me want to go to a festival now. Like I would be annoyed at the phone of like if you go toilet and then you can't find them. I'm like, that'd be annoyed.
Yeah.
Last time I was at a festival at Beyond the Pay last year, and 2 of my friends, women, they waited for me outside the toilet, but they thought I was in there, but I was not. I was sitting at a bench having drinks with a guy I know called Merlin. Doesn't matter, that's his real name. That's his real name. And I was just like having a pint and catching up. We just bumped into each other in Oxford Street. And I was having a pint, and they were like waiting for like 25 minutes, and they thought I was having a really like I was at the urinals they thought I was in. It was like, what would you be 25 minutes in there doing? I mean, there's probably a few answers, but I just kind of wanted to get back to the festival. And then when I came back, they're like, where were you? I was like, over there. They were like, we were standing here. And I kind of,
I'd say they had a lovely. I'd say that urinal time is like they met loads of people. They had a bit of crack. I'd say that was actually like a real fun time.
I don't think they went into the urinal area themselves.
Pointing at opening the door, pointing at people, go, gotcha, knocking over urinals.
See, I look forward to having those kind of, meta glasses where everyone has a little sim diamond over their head.
Yeah,
you just spot them and you'd be like, there they are.
Wouldn't that be fantastic?
Wouldn't that be bloody brilliant? Or maybe it's just a big picture of them over their head, and you just walk
that would be
towards
so
them.
like playing Call of Duty or something.
It'd be absolutely wonderful.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
That'd be good. Now, so let's all
or
log
Fortnite,
in. Or Fortnite
for our younger listeners who are 19, which we know they're there.
That guy.
We had Sonny. Terry brought Sonny to a Leinster match. Terry loves Leinster. She loves, I'm married into the South
A
County
rugby
Dublin
family, yeah.
Family, me, I'm the North Sider from the wrong side of the tracks, as you know. My dad lives in Foxrock. But she was going to bring him to the match. She was very excited about it. I want to bring him to a rugby match. He's got a good look on, he's good. He's
How
a good
long
look
did
charm.
it take her to teach the Leinster chant?
Well, we didn't get that far because she said, would you like to go to a match? And he's like, yeah, I'd love to. And he was really excited. And she's like, I was like, so it's a Leinster match. And he goes, oh, okay. Who's the other team? And I'm like, I already know where this is going. And she goes, well, Glasgow. And he goes, I'm up for Glasgow. She's like, well, no. And Terry is not, Terry's never prone to any kind of anger or have these kind of words. She's like, well, no. You can't be up for Glasgow. You're up for Leinster. And he's like, but I love them. And I literally said to him, say the name of the team you love. Because I knew he'd forgotten already. And he goes, what is it again? Glasgow. I love Glasgow. And then later on, he was kind of saying, my favorite city in the world is Glasgow. By the end of it, with knowing nothing, he would die for Glasgow. And so we had to
He's very like you, Tony.
He is. But this is the thing. I was beaming with pride that he was a little troll.
A little belligerent.
A little contrarian.
How is someone so small, or he gets so many of your traits?
Straight away, love
crazy.
it. I'm up for Glasgow.
I'm up for Glasgow. And then he wanted me to sing him a song from Glasgow musicians when I was putting him down. Genuinely did love Glasgow, and then he went.
You come home, he's watching Billy Connolly on YouTube.
The big un. But then apparently he still was kind of cheering for Glasgow, but he was doing it quite respectfully at the thing.
Do you have to pay for a ticket for a child that small?
Yeah.
No. Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think
they're not your dad putting you over the thing. Is that
mother in this case. Killian.
Yeah.
Women like sport as well,
I'm
Killian.
talking about the older tradition. Of your dad popping you over the thing. Of course, women weren't allowed to go to football back in the day.
Back in the day, of course.
But no, this kind of thing, where you could pop the child over the turnstile.
Well, you keep telling us about popping, but he's telling us that's not true, Killian.
No,
that's insane.
He had his
Kids
own,
go free.
He had his own ticket. Well, he's 5, so he no. But
did he have his own Heineken? His vitamin H?
He had a couple of sticks of dynamite now.
The Leinster handcuffs, as they call them. When you've got one in both hands.
No, but he had a really good time. But what was I going to say? He didn't. He is a good luck charm though, because we did bring him to an Ireland New Zealand match, which Ireland won for the first time in rugby at home for 40-something years.
Munster beat them.
Did they?
It's famous.
Oh wow.
Munster beat
Terry
them
will know
in
that.
the 60s or something.
I'm scared of Munster, so no, thank you.
I'm feeling good. We both finished our tours.
Yes.
They are completed. I'm finished my other podcast. It is out today.
Wonderful.
And people have been telling me that they're crying listening to it, and I just feel such joy to make you cry.
Incredible.
Do you know I'm exhausted from that? I just finished it. That's out today, and I finished it 2 days ago.
Please go listen to
Ireland
this wonderful thing.
Ireland said yes.
Get a box of tissues. And also get something that when you laugh, because you're going to laugh, you're going to cry.
Yeah, no, it's funny and sad and moving. But I like the last episode a lot. I think I need to cry myself. But I want just so funny. I don't know if this is a funny story now, but I'll try it anyway, will I?
So you concluded, because we were
The
talking
tours,
a lot
about the
about
tours.
the riding.
But
you concluded the podcast on the bit where you say it was a mistake, right?
Yes, the last episode is like, we should never have done this, and we should respect that straight people are our betters. And that they are entitled to more than us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
I will say I've loved it very much, and I've actually been quoting some of the stories from people, like, we were watching a true crime documentary about a load of gay men being murdered in a house. And I was saying it was highlighting about how a lot of gay people weren't believed, or the police wouldn't even entertain it, or like whatever they do. And I was listening to Garode Farrelly talk about that assault thing, and I was like, it's crazy that like literally within the last 20 years. So I was, not only did I find it interesting and educational, but I was able to use it in an anecdote, which I appreciate.
Oh, well, that's good. I'm happy to feed your anecdote.
Thank you so much.
No, that is good.
No,
I wanted to just, I don't know if this, I've set myself up too much now.
No, don't worry about it.
I'm vulnerable.
Why don't you taper in and be like, I
was trying to taper in and I couldn't get a thing. In Vicar Street, you weren't at my Vicar Street, sadly.
No, I'm so sorry.
You had other
I'm so
business
sorry.
on. It's okay. And then, but I asked my family WhatsApp, I said, can someone get me cash? Because I give the barman the tip, right? And then my mother said, yes, I have. And then, so I knew, I don't know if the story's good. And
hey, don't listen to that guy.
basically,
Don't
what
listen to
you're
that
right,
guy.
you're right,
I'm
you're
not
right.
saying what
I'm
you're
sitting
saying.
there panicking because I did not know that was a thing and I did not do that.
I don't know if it's a thing, but I do it.
He's a class actor.
Yes.
He sends letters to people, they gives them cash,
I send
gives you
cards,
money
yeah.
to Barrettstown and all this kind of shit.
Fuck, he's
Yeah. Did you donate to his Bardstown yet, Tony?
Yeah, I did. Well, I donated to
Killian?
Barrettstown directly, 10 grand.
10 grand.
Yeah.
Anyway, just had a funny moment. Two funny moments with my parents. One, that I was doing some jokes about my parents on the stage, and then they turned to the couple beside them, and my mom said, "That's us." And then the couple said, "We know." They just knew. They just somehow knew that was my parents. But anyway, she came in. My
Probably
dad.
your ma's mustache.
Yeah, we have very similar moustaches. My dad strolled into the back room in Vicar Street like
Dad is in the jean shorts
he
as
knew
well.
what he was doing. Yeah, my dad was in denim cut-offs. And then my mother, I arranged for this money. I revoluted her for the money. And then in front of people who weren't my friends, were like Richie's friends and like my agent's friends were there. And then so this is clearly my mother, and she gave me the money, but the way she did it, here's your money. And it just looked like my mama was giving me some cash for my night out. And then I had to explain to her, I was like, no, this is my money. It's my money. She just gave me the cash. I needed the cash. This is my money. It was quite embarrassing. Anyway, text in. Was that story worth it in the end?
Yay!
Text in and let us know. Because I just haven't. I had
that
such
was
a
lovely.
nice time in the Vicar Street.
I
and-
didn't even get to decompress after it as well, but it was such a nice show. Tony was there. We sold it out in the end. It was really, really great. We had everyone backstage afterwards. Tony was doing very good, support person kind of stuff.
The support is not just for the stage.
yeah.
It's also to do, because I remember I did it for Emma Doran, enemy of the pod.
Yeah.
And I did it for her.
Boring.
And then
Emma Boring.
when I came in back from this to the bar bit, there was a load of gals and they were all standing up and there was like wine in ice.
You're on that.
And then I was like, girl, sit down. I was like, open it. That's for you. So I was like, yeah, come on. And you have to, that's part of the job of the support is to be a bit like that.
Mother, there was too many people sitting down. In fairness, I think Anna's entire family was there.
Great.
But my mum and my auntie were there, and they were both in that way that, like, my mum is like, everyone must be comfortable. I cannot be comfortable. That kind of mother thing.
Yes.
She was sitting on the floor, and she would not get up. Anna was like, "Can you not get your mum to sit on a chair?" And I was like, there is no way I can get her to sit on a chair.
Yeah,
she will only, until every single person on this earth has a seat, then she shall take a seat. But there's no way. Tony Cantwell managed to get her to sit on a chair because he went and got a chair for her and got her to sit, which was very, very good.
Yes.
And then my mum was in one of those, I don't know, she's just very, I did a little speech thing and I was like, especially I want to thank, I would say a big thanks to my mum and my wonderful partner, Anna. And then my mum in her, like, everyone must feel good kind of thing. There was a little silence there and she went, and friends are also very important, aren't they? And, like, she couldn't help just throw, like, she's like, it was her
That's
kind
so
of way
sweet.
of just being like, your friends are here. How, you got to give them a little bit of credit or whatever. And she did that kind of like, was it passive aggressive? Was it just her
With
being
respect,
a mother?
though, Fiona, you did the work, though, Killian. Do you know what I mean? And have they paid for a ticket?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
No,
Yeah.
not at all.
Not at all.
But it was,
Well, they tried to.
They tried to.
Yeah.
Some of them.
Yeah.
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 But it was a great show. Thank you so much for everyone who came.
it's wonderful.
It was absolutely wonderful. Sorry about the support.
Sorry, just, I just had read something. I thought people knew about that, and I didn't know it came from that kind of news source. So sorry about that. You know where my political ideology is. So I'm sorry. I didn't mean to say that.
He did a bright.
I had Richie Bree on support, and he was dressed up. He had like boots and shit. He looked very well.
Fucking hell.
And my sister-in-law Ellen, hello Ellen, she was in the toilets after. She loves going to the toilet after when she comes to see me in gigs. She loves going to toilets because then she can hear all the girls talk about
Very
in the
clever.
toilet. So she tells me their highlights from the toilet.
From the mouth of babes.
And yeah, babes, Boba the Hula. And when she bit of gaga. When she was in the toilet, they were all talking about Richie Bree, and they were like, he was very good, wasn't he? Yeah. I was like, he's a bit of all right. He was quite hot. Richie Bree is hot and single, so do
Hot and
slide into
single.
his DMs.
Wow.
He hasn't. I feel like I'm just whoring him out now, but
Yeah.
I think he might be okay. If you fancy Richie Bree, send him a message. Go on
Absolutely.
a date with him. He's a hot guy.
And if you've been on any kind of like weird websites and you hear hot singles are in your area, that's actually Richie's ad. So just click on that,
Yeah, it's Richie who's the hot single.
and he's in your area.
So do check it out. And Killian's support, your support wasn't as sexy.
There was a lot of, you know, when people go out on stage and there's usually a cheer.
Yeah.
There was like a mass collective ew kind
Weird.
of.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
That's actually, I feel bad even saying that because Tony was so good and he smashed.
No, I
so
went out
hard.
and I think they did go, and then I spent the first like 5 minutes sweating, checking if I'd like shit or something, and I was like looking to see if there was toilet roll, and I'm like, do you not like me or something? And it was really hard to get it back. You know when you have that sometimes where you go out and you're like,
It's
do you not like me?
It's the
And then
support. That's
getting
what
it back.
that is.
Yeah, and then getting it back.
Because when you
No,
go
it didn't
out,
really happen, but-
when you do the support, it's not that they're not like at a show like that. If there's one of, if it's Killian's show, but they're still happy to see you because most of them will know Tony as well.
Yeah.
Thank God.
From this incredible podcast. But when you do the support, you forget that you're going out to a cold room. They haven't been laughing yet. They haven't been paying attention yet. They've just got settled. They've had a row on the way in about like, I told you to hold the fucking tickets. They've had all that kind of thing. They're texting the babysitter. All this shit's going on. So then they've settled in for a few minutes. And the first 6 minutes of your 25, you feel like they loathe me and I'm a bad comedian and I'm maybe completely naked up here at the same time and they're
Yes.
not even enjoying that.
Yeah.
It does have those feelings. You got to be, you're
reading
doing
my
your
thoughts
jokes.
right now?
Yeah,
You're reading my...
Tony was doing his Terry Woken thing backstage, and we were trying out. You know the way you're always like before a show, you're kind of messing around with new jokes, and Jordan was there as well. And so Tony was doing all this different like Terry
I
Woken,
woke Terry Woken.
Terry Woken, and he's doing that. Anna's sitting there going like, who the fuck is Terry Wogan? With the worst kind of thing to
And
say
then,
to someone
it was
who's
perfect
about
because I was like, great, binned. That's binned. Good to know.
so
It's like when I thought people knew who Richard Blackwood was at the London show and they didn't, and neither did Killian, but that's fine. It's good to know. I love to have my mind changed.
It was
Thank
so
you.
good. He was like, yeah, the whole time, Terry Wogan came off stage. Jordan was like, you didn't do your Terry Wogan bit. And was that a good Jordan? That was no
Yeah,
good
not
Jordan. And then it was like, yeah, because Anna didn't know who it was. And I'm like, Anna has such big gaps of knowledge.
The girl can't even mind her own phone.
Yeah.
Anna, we've been a bit hard on Anna. Look, I hope
It's
you
not
get
about
better-
Anna.
better-
It's
nice
not
about
about
Get better
Anna.
soon.
It's about people losing their phone.
Mm.
You know that Lizzo song? Or that episode of Broad City? You know, people who lose their phone. You know, it's just...
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't worry because she is not going to listen to this because she is phoneless. She's
Could we
listening
get
to
her
the
one of them
radio.
lanyard ones? You know, there's a rope and...
That's what Tamsin, Kelly, Fern Brady, and Alison Spittle all had.
The rope lanyards.
Rope
phones.
lanyards. They were very prepared. Alison had charcoal pills and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And magnesium.
Yeah.
She was like a dealer, but of just like
Melatonin?
good melatonin. Yeah. What is it?
That's so funny because
Cocaine.
I was chatting to Brian O'Driscoll the other day and he was wearing a lanyard as well. So it's just weird. Just wanted to mention, just Brian O'Driscoll had a lanyard just while we're just name dropping
Wait.
lanyards.
Did
'Cause
you
it's
meet
important.
Brian O'Driscoll?
Yeah, we're pals. And he had a lanyard, so I'm just
And
saying.
what did Tony say?
He actually
Or,
didn't
sorry,
have a
Sonny
lanyard,
was like,
but I just needed it.
"Your shit, I hate you, Glasgow are better."
I didn't bring it up.
yeah.
I didn't bring it up.
Have you never met Brian Driscoll Killian?
Let me think. No, but I met his au pair. I taught his au pair for about 6 months.
Have you met his lovely wife, Amy Huberman?
No, but I taught his au pair and Amy and
is so
I set homework that they both helped correct.
Okay,
I
but
set
you
homework
haven't
that they
met
both helped.
either of them. I know Amy, I know Brian.
I know
I know
Amy, I know
them.
Brian.
You don't.
No, I know
you
them
don't.
through
You know
the
their au
medium
pair.
of homework that I set.
Yeah, but that au pair's
Uh,
long since moved.
I am going on holidays. I was going on holidays. They've corrected all those sentences that I set. They know my work intimately as an English teacher.
Wow.
You taught their au pair English.
I taught their au pair English.
wow.
So you, You've never met Brian or Amy.
Yeah, but he's had to deal with. I've dealt with them much more intimately than you. I've given them passive. I've taught them how to use the passive
I've never even
tense.
shaken the man's
Look, I'm
hand.
sorry I did this. I wanted to crowbar in that I was Shandon Brand Driscoll because there
Why?
was.
Why
because-
was
why
it
were
at
you
the Leinster
chatting
match?
about
Why
it?
were
No, I
you?
did it specifically because
Ask
you.
him if he remembers the verb tenses that I taught
No,
him.
I'd be seeing him around. You know, I'm a South County Dublin man these days. You know that. You know that. I'm a South County Dublin man. Bumped into him, was chatting to him. Of course, I know his wife very well. No, but I wanted to crowbar
about
that
fair.
in because you literally were like, after already name dropping 3 comedians, you were like, Alison Spittle had Blanchard. You know, I just thought it was very abrasive, and I wanted to do another abrasive name drop. Would you like to do a name drop before we close out the show?
What name drop could I do lately? Tom Von Lawler, I guess, again, but I've already done that one.
No, do Tom special. Like, come on, we've had that. You got some good ones. Give it to us.
Which?
Who you worked with? It's someone fun and name droppy.
Who?
I don't know. You've been on a TV show for months.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Tom Von Lawler.
Yeah,
but you've done that one. There must be another one.
Oh, there must be another one. Who else I've worked with? I don't know. I don't know. I know a lot of very famous, very famous and wealthy people. I don't know. I can't think of it. I'll think of a fresh name drop for
Sydney
you.
Sweeney in it?
Sydney Sweeney. Yeah.
Yeah.
She just sexualized herself so
that's
much.
what I find. Yeah.
She's better in the lower range, but
I think
she's better in the lower range.
I think she needs to do the Craic Den. That's what I think she needs to do.
Yeah, she needs to do a few minutes just kind of getting her banter together.
yeah.
Because when she plays the characters, they're believable, but the banter is just not there with
She's
Sydney
not there,
Sweeney.
you know, she's not aware. But look, thanks very much for listening to this podcast. Again, I would like to just highlight that the lads are broke. We're fucked. We've no money, and if you'd like to support us in a way of getting Anna a new phone, Killian paying his phone bill, and keeping Shane's direct debits, you can.
And don't forget, you can send in stuff to us for the wall. It's only getting started, so it's going to be nicer than this.
And the very opposite of Tony's son, Sonny, I am not a Glasgow fan. I am an Edinburgh fan. And I will be in the Edinburgh Fringe in August, running from the 30th of July all the way to the 21st of August. And I'll be there doing my show. And that's really it. Anything you want to add,
Yeah,
Shane?
I'm going as well, but I don't know when I'm going, so I'll be there for like a lot of it, but I don't know all of it. Anyway, I have to wait and see. Look, I'll be there as
keep
well.
your eyes peeled on the
Against my
Soch.
better judgment, I'll be there.
I'm sorry about the accent.
Yeah,
I won't do it
move
again.
on from
I
that.
need to move
Okay.
on from that. I'm sorry.
Thank you for listening. You're the greatest, and we are only okay. Slán.
We're doing fine.
Just.
Very attractive. Very attractive. Hot and loud.
And a little bit sad.
He was the best guy around.
Oh my, is it hot in here or what?
You're an attractive guy. It's the fabulous Tony Cantwell.
I'm talking about Shane Daniel Byrne.